thanks for watching the Daily Debate live Wednesday with Taghreed Hussein here on Nile TV International, and many happy returns for the Lesser Bayram in advance. This is our last episode during the holy month of Ramadan. May it bring about all blessings for all our viewers all over the world. Tonight we chose to discover together and to go for a beautiful journey to a beautiful and an exceptional country. We're going to be moving to discover the Pearl of Africa. For magnificence, for variety of form and color, for the profusion of the brilliant life, let it be the bird, the insect, reptile, beast, for vast scale. Uganda is truly the Pearl of Africa. That was how Winston Churchill has described Uganda in his book entitled My African Journey when he first visited Uganda. And tonight from Nile TV International, we are going to send you, dear viewers, more information and more warm greetings from the beautiful Uganda, from the Pearl of Africa. Uganda is abundantly blessed with a great deal of diverse stories, beautiful stories, wildlife, let it be, birds of all type, tranquil water, the weather. If it is not enough, the Pearl of Africa, Uganda, you'll find it a diversified culture also, and very rich heritage. The country has more than 360 tribes, and this makes it definitely a destination for all those looking for a diverse cultural experience. In addition to its admired background in a further unique way, it's a book in which many stories that anybody would ever want to read, you find that you won't miss all those stories and all those memories embedded here due its wonderful outlook. And tonight we'll be discovering more about the inside beauty of the Pearl of Africa of Uganda. I'm having all the honor and pleasure of having my guest of honor tonight, His Excellency General Charles Angina, who is the Deputy Ugandan Ambassador in Cairo. And His Excellency is for the first time exclusively on Nile TV International. I'm very honored to have you, Excellency, tonight.
I want to appreciate you, Taghreed, for hosting me and for loving Uganda and for making it possible for us to be able to share our experience with our beloved people of the Arab Republic of Egypt. And I take this honor on behalf of the Ambassador, His Excellency Sam Male, who was supposed to be the one to be hosted, but because of other engagement, he delegated me. And I take this singular honor to salute His Excellency, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The President was really brought a lot of development in this country and in the region, and we respect that. And we salute the people of Egypt for being very loving and very good people.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and we'll be talking more about our strong partnership and strong cooperation with Uganda. I'm really honored also to have with us Mrs. Nancy Hady. Mrs. Hady has been officially appointed by Uganda's Ministry of Tourism to be the Goodwill Tourism Ambassador for Uganda in Egypt, bearing into consideration that this is the first time we have an Egyptian woman who has been appointed in this post. Congratulations, Mrs. Nancy, and always a pleasure having you on Nile TV.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be here, and it's a great honor to also be a Goodwill Ambassador for the amazing country of Uganda.
Thank you. And my distinctive guest will be telling us more about Uganda. We'll be talking more about the diversity of Uganda's culture, which is unmatched, from the diverse cultural mosaic of music, of art, of handicrafts, the culture and norms, to the official and the special clothing, also to the decorations, as well as the rituals and traditions. So we'll be flying to Uganda tonight. Let's know more about the cultural tourism story in Uganda, and we'll be back.
Uganda, also dubbed the Pearl of Africa, is a unique, adorable country. In the east of Africa, Uganda is a country gifted with mesmerizing beauty, rich with beautiful soils, nature, vegetation, waters, mountains, and fascinating creatures. Uganda is blessed with abundant wildlife, unique features and a fascinating cultural heritage, which differs among the major and established chiefdoms that exist in the country, demonstrated by the numerous cultural sites in the country. Uganda has got many cultural sites which include the Kabaka's Palace, Kasubi Tombs, Nedere Center, Namugongo Martyrs Shrine, Uganda Museum, among many others. Some of these cultural sites are among the top tourist things to visit around Uganda and can be well explored during the safari tours. Uganda has got such a vibrant and rich culture that tourists from around the world visit the country every year for the memorable experience. Cultural tourism in Uganda is always at its peak, as tourists can visit them throughout the year. The most popular cultural encounters in Uganda are the Batwa Trail in Magahinga National Park, visiting the IK, and Karamojong people in northeastern Uganda. The Batwa Trail involves visiting the Batwa Pygmies, who were evicted from Magahinga National Park to create room for the endangered mountain gorillas. The Uganda Museum is also one of the top cultural sites in Uganda. It was built to help preserve Uganda's history. The museum is without a doubt the best place to visit if one is interested in learning about Uganda's history and cultural heritage, which are demonstrated through a collection of instruments, artifacts and recordings. Also, the Kasubi Tombs are a very important cultural site in Uganda. It is a UNESCO heritage place taking a dome-like shape with a lot of royalty and respect paid to the site. Ugandans are one of the friendliest people on earth. They are accepting and easily get along with foreigners. One of the reasons for this is the country's ethnic groups have learned to live in harmony with each other. This has made it easy for Ugandans to accept foreigners without any suspicions whatsoever. Uganda is one of the countries with amazing cultural heritage, starting from the unique way of preparing food to the social way of living. Having several tribes makes Uganda the best place for cultural tourism.
Your Excellency, General Charles, since His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi took office, we've seen remarkable achievements in our deep-rooted relations with Uganda. So we do have deep historic ties, of course, between the two countries.
Yes, it's true. Our relationship is born from sharing the same water. What we drink in Uganda is what you drink here in Egypt. And this is great because the source of the Nile is in Uganda. And this greatest river, which flows right from the heart of Uganda to the Mediterranean Sea, serves so many lives in terms of what they drink. And you know, water is life. And we are very grateful to God that this source of water is from Uganda, and we happily share it with our brothers and sisters upstream. And Egypt is one of the countries that we respect, that they must have sufficient of this water so that they do not miss on this life which is from water. And it would be good for all Egyptians to endeavor to see the source of this great water that they drink, that enables production and survival of the people of Egypt. But what is amazing, you have done great in the utilization of the Nile and its resources than us who are the source. But I believe there are great opportunity. If Egyptians came to Uganda, they would see with their great ability to see opportunities, you will see that it is a virgin area that you must come and invest. There's no cruise boats, and there's no hospitality industry. The entire Nile, and also the lakes that we are greatly blessed. We have more than 10 lakes, which is still virgin, that you can be able to do a lot of tourism in it.
Yes, great news. Well, it has been always great to see the sense of bond between Egypt and Uganda, and this has been translated and reflected in the choice of an Egyptian woman, distinctive one, our friend Nancy here, to be Uganda's Goodwill Tourism Ambassador. Nancy, it's definitely a responsibility, and however, it reflects the deep-rooted relations and strengthening the ties between Egypt and Uganda. Definitely, they have full confidence in Nancy Hady to further go the extra mile in strengthening those relations.
Thank you. Actually, for me, it's been a great honor. And actually, as the video has shown, Uganda is a country with very kind, very loving people, and they're very welcoming of people. So I found myself like as if I'm within my family, which I think is amazing. And I don't know if I told this story before, but I have a friend who actually went to do business in Uganda for a business trip and ended up spending 6 years there. So it's one of those countries that, you know, it welcomes people, and as His Excellency said, there's so much opportunity. And I think this is the reason, like you said, the strengthening of relations between our two countries, brotherly countries, to the extent that, as His Excellency said, the source of life, water, you know, unites us and connects us. And in addition, I think what His Excellency said is so important in that, for example, here in Egypt, we have good expertise in terms of hospitality on the Nile. And this is something we could actually, you know, share best practices, and investors can look in doing that actually in these beautiful virgin lakes and also in Lake Victoria.
Yeah.
So there's so much opportunity, and again, the countries, you know, identifying or recognizing someone from Egypt as not just as a tourism ambassador, but welcoming other people, as I have a delegation that's traveling with me tonight, actually. That shows that there's this hospitality, there's this, you know, reaching out and wanting to really connect. So I think I'm very optimistic. It's a beautiful relationship.
Definitely. Cooperation potentials, Your Excellency, between Egypt and Uganda are numerous. And we would love to know more about this delegation that is leaving Cairo tonight and heading to Uganda. I guess there is a big and huge event, a great expo there. If you would kindly shed light on the expo and also more about the potential of cooperation between both countries. Of course, you've highlighted more concerning the water area. However, there are other potentials and other doors that we are knocking.
First of all, I would wish to take a little bit into the history. That the empowerment that Egypt gave to Uganda in terms of energy. The first dam that was built on River Nile was done by Egyptian engineers, and although it was during the colonial time, Egypt played a very critical role in the first dam. So Egypt has been very developmental in its posture and in its relationship. No wonder they're the ones doing the biggest dam right now in Tanzania. But that aside, the big potential that Egypt has is that Egypt has very advanced level of engineers. Egypt is very advanced in industrialization. And Uganda today is taking that direction of agro-industrialization, given that Uganda is an agricultural, the backbone of economy is more into agriculture. So with this advancement Egypt has of engineers who have established Egypt in industries, if they came to Uganda with sufficient energy now we have, it's very good for any person who can want to invest in agro-industrialization, in manufacturing, and with the raw materials that we have, it would make it cheaper even for the people of Egypt to receive what is much affordable. I know most of the industries in Egypt have almost more than 75% net importers of raw materials to run these industries. But it makes a lot of sense and logic to have these industries where there's raw material. It will therefore bring down the cost of the product, which would make it easier for our people to get what is affordable. And at the same time, it will make these industries to run to its full production capacities because of having sufficient raw materials. If I give you an example in terms of feeds, if we go into feeds, you find that Egypt will import corn, it will import soya, it will import supplements in terms of protein in order to run the feed industry. But all this you can find it in Uganda, which would be a great opportunity. The other aspect that Uganda being a land-linked country, it is linked to 6 other countries around it. So that means you will have the market of South Sudan, you'll have market of DRC, the market of Burundi, of Rwanda, of Tanzania, of Kenya. So it demystifies the fear people have that Uganda is landlocked, because having the market is better than to be with a border with the ocean, but without the market. But now this is a hub that will link you to all this country, and you'll be able to have whatever you produced consumed, and also a demand will grow to expand on the industrialization.
Yes. Ms. Nancy, well, being the tourism ambassador of Uganda, definitely we are working, and we are working also with the media, with Nile TV International, to promote a beautiful country, namely the Pearl of Africa of Uganda. What makes Uganda, in your opinion, deserve that beautiful title, like the Pearl of Africa?
Pearl of Africa.
As you saw it and as you share in promoting it.
Sure. If you allow me first, very briefly, just to let you know, so as I mentioned earlier, we're traveling a delegation of actually 7 Egyptians, including myself, 3 media and 3 travel agents, and at the same time from the top 5 actually in Egypt. At the same time, we appreciate Nile International, of course, to give us coverage for this very important event, because it's the second time any Egyptian companies or travel agents or media will participate in the Poete, which stands for the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. But the first time it was only 3 people, and this year it's 7 people. So as you see, the relationship as it's developing, it's expanding. In addition to that, the Pearl of Africa is called the Pearl of Africa, as many have described it actually, is because it truly is, it's got everything that you would expect in Africa, and it's beautiful in its diversity, in the wildlife, in the green. The soil is so fertile that you can just drop a seed and suddenly things will come, grow. And this is the amazing thing about it. It's so blessed. Pineapple, I think the sweetest and most delicious pineapple in the world is from Uganda. All their vegetables and fruits, and agriculture comes number 1. They're head of the game compared to many, many countries. A lot of the coffee and the tea that we have in very expensive restaurants or hotels or chains, actually, whether they have a stamp from other countries, but they actually are grown in Uganda. So this is something amazing. But number 1, on top of all these amazing things, like the gorillas and the chimps and the largest, I believe, number of gorillas in the world, I mean, because it's between DRC, Rwanda, and Uganda, is the people. The people is number 1. Because you can go to a country, you can see beautiful buildings, you can actually maybe have some nice food, but if the people aren't friendly and you don't enjoy the hospitality, your experience will be completely different. So the Pearl of Africa has earned its title in the sense that it truly is the best of what Africa has to offer.
Yes, definitely. Ugandans have embraced tourism, and they love to show definitely various visitors about the beauty of their country, sharing their culture. The roads in Uganda would lead to places also of grand beauty, and this is actually seen and reflected. Whosoever visits this country, it turns into definitely a story of success. Your Excellency, talking also intercultural relations and tourism relations between both countries, we're really happy to see that the number of tourists and also delegations visiting Uganda are expanding.
Yes, I did not answer the other question which you had asked about
The expo.
The expo. This expo comes at the time when the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Board are planning to focus the visit on one of the national parks. This is a Mashishon Falls National Park. It's a home to the Big Five. The Big Five here, we mean you are going to be able to have opportunity to see the giraffes, you are going to see the buffaloes, you are going to see the elephants, you are going to see the lions, and you are going to see the rhinos. So the Big Five is an opportunity for you to see. But nevertheless, there are people who have not had the opportunity to see the chimpanzees and the gorillas. So they will have an exceptional group to be taken to be able to view and track these great animals so that they have the opportunity. So for anybody who wants to see the Big Five, this is an opportunity for you to make one move and you're able to see all the Big Five. And the Mashishon Falls remains outstanding of people who love the waterfall.
Yeah.
It is one of the waterfalls that is still #1 on the continent of Africa. We used to have the waterfall in Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
but because of the climate change and so forth, at times you find it dripping rather than really being a fall. And the Mashishon Falls has remained very aggressive, and you can hear the waterfall from a great distance. So it's an opportunity for the lovers of waterfalls to go to this place. And when you are there, you will be able to see the Great Nile. And the Great Nile passes through Mashishon Falls and gives you an opportunity to see the crocodiles and other water-related beauties of the tourism. So on the aspect of making the cultural exchange more practical here is to see to it that the Egyptians who have really mastered how to make the Nile be very lively with so many activities, so many cultures being done on the cruise boat. You see great dancing. This can also be similarly done by the Egyptians. The beauty about it, Egyptians are very lovely, are very calm and good people, just similar to Uganda. So you will not miss it. When you come to Uganda, you will find you have the same environment related with people's welcoming aspect.
Yeah.
So I would believe it is an opportunity to expand this cultural relationship that is born by having the same water we drink, and therefore having the same friendly people who should be able to share. We should not have our culture be different. For Muslims, we have a big percentage of Muslims also in Uganda. Uganda is not only a Christian country, but it's a Christian and Muslim country.
Yeah.
A
Christians,
beautiful mosque in,
yes. So
Kampala.
you'll be able not to miss Egypt. When you are in Uganda, you are like you are in Egypt because of the people,
So
cultural
Egyptians will
relationship.
really feel home
Absolutely.
in Uganda.
And in the
yeah.
terms of food, whatever type of food you have in Egypt, you will find it in Uganda. And we also have Egyptian restaurants, and we also have Egyptian bank. Cairo Bank is also in Kampala. So there's quite a lot of things that we have in similarity.
Yeah, so lots of similarities, and this actually binds us together. Not only the waters, but also the friendly people. And it's always important to have this sense of bond. And both Egypt and Uganda are investing in their people. Our peoples are our real treasures. Among Uganda's cultural sites and leading tourism attractions, we do have more than one attraction, the Kasubi Tombs, for instance, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site receiving thousands of visitors every year. We do have also Uganda Museum, which is the best place actually to learn about Uganda's cultural heritage. So a lot to explore tonight about Uganda. A short break and we'll be back. Great, the sense of women empowerment actually in Uganda. Ugandan women are beautiful women. They are occupying today also lots of leading posts. Miss Nancy, tell me more about Ugandan women. Definitely you got in touch with many personalities in Uganda.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so impressive. You know, as His Excellency said, you have from vice president to ministers to, and some of the most even important posts, Speaker of the Parliament, in business as well, leading a lot of the important like business chambers and things like that. And I think that I felt and I noticed that again because Uganda is a country similar to Egypt, is that they are very strong on values, family values, and so it starts kind of from the home and from the family of how they treat their children equally and empowering women in that way. Education as well, there's a lot of emphasis on education, and so actually I was quite impressed by the status of women in Uganda as well.
Great.
And,
well, His Excellency also shed light about the Big Five, as you call them. However, I know that Uganda's excellent safaris are unmatched.
Absolutely. You have, Your Excellency, how many parks, national parks?
We have 7 national parks.
Mm-hmm.
7 national parks. I've seen only like 3 of them, so I can only imagine what the other 4 are like. And actually, each park is unique. Mm-hmm. So Murchison Falls is known for the giraffes, and then you have the crocodiles, and you have the waterfall, which is gorgeous. In addition, I actually had a chance to visit the north area, like Aru County. So there I saw the Aru Falls, which I thought was very impressive too, because it's so virgin. Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful, out of this world, and virgin. At the same time, a lot of the other parks too, you'll have like the hippos, or you'll have the zebras also. So each park is quite unique in what you get to see, but in essence, you get the Big Five, which is what most people that do pursue, to visit different parks, they're looking for the Big Five. And in the way it is, like even during COVID, which was a very difficult time for everybody, and especially countries like Egypt and Uganda, that basically a big part of their GDP is based on tourism, they were able to maintain also the wildlife and to maintain the parks in such a good way so that the animals were healthy and everything, which was a challenge for everyone. But that's the amazing thing, is going back and being able to bounce back and to train people in the tourism industry. So I like that Uganda is taking it very serious, and they're really, really creating an environment where tourists not only go to visit, but they want to come back again and again.
Yes,
it's the important thing.
That's great. That's amazing. Uganda is also very much famous for festivals, I guess, Your Excellency. We find that many visitors also go to Uganda on special festivals. So if you would share with our viewers more about the festivities in Uganda, celebrations in Uganda, since we are approaching also Eid al-Fitr.
We have different days we celebrate, and we also have cultural festivals depending on different region you come from.
Right.
And every region has its own
So every
festival.
region has its own character and identity and
different
kingdom.
Yeah, but the days that we celebrate vividly is the National Independence Celebration, which is on 9th of October. Then we also celebrate the Martyrs Day, when we celebrate the martyrs of Uganda, those ones who died for religion purposes, and that is 3rd of June. Then we have Heroes Day, when we celebrate our heroes, that is 9th of June. Then we also have the Liberation Day, when our president was able to capture power and be able to bring the new development and the revolution that we have in Uganda. That is on 26th of January.
Yeah.
And on occasions of Eid Day, we leave it to the supreme leaders of the Muslim community to be able to tell us the Muslim calendar, when does the Eid Day falls. But it's always similar to Egypt. You will find that this week we may celebrate the Eid of
Eid al-Fitr, yeah.
Friday.
And the lesser Bayram.
You will find that even in Uganda it will fall almost the same day, so which is amazing. So all these are celebrated days, and then the cultural regional celebrations of different cultures, it's also honored and respected accordingly.
That's great. Yes, Nancy.
Sorry, I was just going to add really quickly, with, like, for example, June 6th, Martyrs' Day, you have people coming from all over the region and probably even the world to come and attend this. That's part of that. And then also with, in terms of like celebrating Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr, sorry, you have a lot of the scholars and the religious clergy in Uganda have studied in Al-Azhar.
Yes.
So we have, how many students now do we have in Al-Azhar from Uganda?
I think we have about 80 something students.
80 something.
Yeah.
So the students, they come, they study here at Al-Azhar, and then they become also responsible in different mosques or communities there. So you find it's a very beautiful, progressive, moderate, and if you allow me just to say one thing, I attended actually a meeting with one of the ministers, and she had introduced me to several representatives from different NGOs, and usually before they start a meeting, they will start with a prayer. And one of the NGOs, the gentleman who was actually in her office, was a Muslim. And she asked him, could you please start us with the prayer? And he said, you know, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And I was so impressed and so amazed at how incredibly, you know, connected Ugandan people are and how much the respect they have for other religions and for other cultures.
Yeah. And I don't want ladies to accuse me. With two ladies, we also celebrate Women's Day.
Yes.
And that's on the 8th of March.
Exactly like us.
Okay.
We also celebrate
Is that International Women's Day?
It's an International Women's Day.
Yeah.
We celebrate
We celebrate it, and the Egyptian women, we celebrate both.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we have the Labor Day, the International Labor Day, which is coming on the 1st of May.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had actually in Egypt the first, international women's conference that was under, if you remember, the Ministry of Immigration and His Excellency our President, where more than 30 women were honored as well. So Egypt's also moving in that same direction as Uganda in terms of honoring women.
Yes.
Wow.
We in Egypt celebrate also Eid with lovely desserts like the pastries or the kahk. Do you have similar recipes in Uganda?
Yes, we do. Like the video was showing you the matoke, which is the traditional delicacy for people from the central Uganda, from the green banana, but cooked and mashed into food, and it's very delicious. It picks its taste according to the sauce you serve with it. Then east and northern part of the country, we are more of millet eaters. The millet is very nutritious. It gives you iron, and it has calcium in it. So, for instance, our president, that is his main meal. He likes millet.
Yeah.
So then you get those ones who like rice, which are like Egyptians. Then there are those ones whom you saw, the Rolex, the chapati, and so forth, which is just like Egypt here. The bread eaters
The chapati,
also have, and we also grow wheat in one part of our country.
Yeah. Well, actually, we are awaiting our top stories of the hour. It has been a lovely discussion, Your Excellency. I thank you so much for coming to Nile TV International, His Excellency General Charles Angina, the Deputy Ugandan Ambassador in Cairo, for our first exclusive here live on Nile TV for the first time. I hope to see Your Excellency definitely once again. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and if you may permit me on behalf of Ambassador His Excellency Sam Umale to wish our brothers, our beloved brothers and sisters who are going to celebrate their Eid this week, that we wish this particular Eid to be outstanding and be able to refresh our our relationship with God in a more strong way. And also we would wish to invite as many Egyptians to come not only for tourism, but also to come for investment opportunity. Let's make Uganda see the beauty of Egypt in terms of harnessing River Nile by having a hospitality industry in these virgin areas of the lakes and the River Nile, and also to have the boat cruise that we can have in these water bodies in Uganda, like we're enjoying here in Cairo. Cairo, Egypt, is number one in tourist destination, but there's more to see and to offer in Uganda than what it is here. But because of your expertise, you are able to attract all this huge number of tourists.
Sure.
Together
we shine.
Surely, surely. Let's have it in Uganda as well.
Thank you. Ms. Nancy Hady, the first Egyptian woman to be appointed as Uganda's Goodwill Tourism Ambassador, I thank you so much, and we really wish you the best of success in this important mission. Thank you so much, Nancy, for coming.
Thank you, really appreciate it. We'll be celebrating Eid in Uganda this year. So it'll
many
be a
happy
great honor.
returns for Eid al-Fitr, the Lesser Bayram. Many happy returns for Muslims all over the world in advance celebrating Eid. And we wish you here on ITV International. We'll be preparing special recipe for Eid celebration, different programs, a variety of shows. This in addition to entertainment and special festivities co-relevant to Eid. Many happy returns. I'm Taghreed Hussein, wishing you all a blessed Eid, and many thanks for watching.